So yeah, I feel like as we're debriefing here, it's just like you feel like there's this feeling of, here we're just toting and, pumping up this group that we had in Westchester in those days. And, you're feeling like, oh, are people going to get bored of that and, not going to be interested? I think they are interested. I think it's like really special. It was a very special time. And
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, it was, you look back at the past through rose-colored glasses, I think, but it was like I feel like it was always great.
Yeah.
Like there was just like clearly that's not true. Like there was all kinds of troubles, but yeah, when I think back, I just think back of so much fun and so much laughter and
Yeah.
great music and parties. It just seemed
Yes.
like a party, like you know,
And not
it
like
was a
dumb. It wasn't dumb partying. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
no,
I don't want to
right.
sound elitist. It's just like, but it was like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm getting drunk and fucked up. It was like getting, these creative juices were pouring out all over the place, and it was just like feeding this thing that was just happening with everybody, and everyone was very inspired, I think, off from each other and being going in their thing. I'm going to do this, and this comes up, and it's just like sharing that with this person, and it felt like that. It felt like this real like a think tank or like a artist residency or something that we had going. And
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we didn't have like all the demands of society nowadays and the kind of like responsibilities, right? We have kids now, and it's like being able to just be in this kind of pure land, and pure state of joy. And yeah, there were issues happening, but being able to tap into that. And I do think a huge part of that was like, we didn't have these, this was like not, I'm pointing to
yeah.
my phone.
You're holding up your phone.
We had landlines and we were very analog, and I'm super proud of that. And like Amanda and I talk about how that was the last generation. We were the last generation before that started to creep in to like your school, like the technology part was, we didn't have that up until after college, really, when it was something that started to really surface more, cell phones and stuff like that. So anyway, just kind of coming back around to the fact that this group of people we were in and what we were doing in Westchester was very like, I don't know what to say. I mean, I think you are more present moment oriented in that time of life in this certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And making that especially so because there wasn't so many distractions and lower attention spans due to our technologies.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's true. I mean, I don't think of it as much as being related to technology or lack of it. Although I see what you're saying.
I think I'm in a lens with that these days where I'm just so much like, God, I want to clear it out. And what would that look like if it wasn't so running the show, but anyway, I know you're not. So
Yeah, it's funny. This is a disconnected thought, but I was saying earlier that like I used to feel like that whole world had continued on without me, as Dr. Dog was touring and stuff. But I often still feel that way just about Westchester itself, like as if that's all still there and I just don't happen to be there. Like I always just think like, wow, I don't think it consciously, but I definitely in the back of my head, there's a thing like, well, if I just went back to Neild Street, I could just like get, what I mean? It feels very like it's still, it would still be there. And of course it's not, everyone's, it was 20 years ago and everybody's doing different stuff, but it just kind of seems like, oh yeah, we could just go to like Sarah Fuller's house and like
the hot tub house,
be a party, or go to the hot tub house or something.
Well, that's also kind of, if we just jump in a little if we dump in a little,
Duck in.
we duck in and dump in a little here. It's something that, so that energy, things that leave, this is going a little far out, right? But things that leave this energetic imprint on a place, right? Is we left an energetic imprint. It is still there. It's there in a way that the memory is there, and that is alive. That feels very alive in me. Like when we're talking about this, I'm just like, I'm feeling overjoyed because it just feels so nice to revisit that. And I am glamorizing a lot of parts because, I was mentally not totally, like of sound mind, but
no, me either.
No,
me either.
It wasn't, but to look back on it feels great. It feels freedom. There's a sense of freedom that's there. And
yes,
just total, like the spontaneity. I think that's the other thing, the spontaneity that I'm like, and that's where I'm connecting it more to technology. I'm not blaming it all on that, but there's a sense of spontaneity that I feel like was more prevalent due to the fact that we just didn't know what was happening. Everything wasn't planned out, right? We had some schedule sometimes, but there was a lot of open space where we didn't always have a GPS in our frontal lobe or something. It wasn't like the way that we could just maneuver. And that was probably an age. I don't know if kids experience it to the degree we did now, just because, times are a little different, but it's, I
feel like you would relate to the media differently too. Like, like paying $40 for a bootleg CD of the Smile Sessions and then listening to it. Like, you're so much more invested than where now, anybody can listen to the entire Smile Sessions for free all day long without a thought,
Yeah. And there was a tangible thing, even though you had a burned CD, you held it, you invested money, and we were going to really listen to it.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if I was getting into the Smile Sessions now, you would just sort of like pick and choose. Like, you would listen to different stuff and be like, oh, that's great, let's listen to something else, and you'd be able, whereas, there was maybe and like so much of what we listened to then was on cassette too, where you actually had to rewind it, or you're like even less instant. In a way.
Yeah. And VHS. Everything was like just full of, I remember, we were talking, Scott and I, the Mr. Show stuff that we would just be like constantly going through and wearing out VHS tapes. And
I remember watching the Mr. Show, the one where it's the Grammys for sad songs.
Oh my God.
The sad song, the Teardrop Awards.
Brian Wilson and Clapton.
And they did a thing making fun of Brian Wilson. And I remember the whole room turning around to look at me. We watched it and they were making fun of Brian Wilson, and everyone was like, Doug, are you okay with this? Like, are you upset? I was like, no, it's great. I love it. That's like, I have a really strong memory of like, oh my God, they're making fun of Brian Wilson. Like, who would even think to do that? Like, that his songs are so sad. Like,
mouthful of sores.
Mouthful of sores.
Mouthful of sores ain't no fun.
And that song was great. They did a great job of.
They nailed it. Yeah. Just like the timpani drum, just boom, they nailed every part of that arrangement for the nailing the Clapton. They did such a good job with that. Yeah. But the Westchester, just so many like thriving memories there. And I see what you mean, like going back, because I am one to also be uber nostalgic, and maybe these days more so. I think it's just where things are at, but it's like really longing for that place and time, the pieces of that were so precious,
Yeah. I think what I try to do is just have it in my regular life now, like to realize that that it's not limited to your past or your group of friends or a particular time and place, but that that not to be woo woo about it, but that magical thing, like you can keep that going in a more mundane way, just in your day to day.
How do you weave that in your day to day?
I think you just try to be present. I mean, I think that's, I think that's what made it good at the time, was that being really present, just being really jazzed about your friends and the energy of what we were doing. But I feel like you can keep that going, on a less, it's less sexy, to just, to not be like in your 20s and partying or whatever, but like you can have the same kind of thrills. I mean, having kids, the kids definitely keep that going.
Yeah.
My whole, current family situation is really beautiful. So I'm lucky. I feel
they are so present. They're such little present moment beings.
Yeah. So, well, I hope so. But I mean, boy, you talk about the technology and the phones and stuff, like, that's infecting our whole scene, that they're into it. They love it. And, I try and, you don't want them to become overly reliant on it, but I also don't want to like keep them away. Like, I don't know, I'm invested in that stuff, and that's just what life is now, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. Yeah.
So hopefully you foster some kind of healthy relationship with those things, and try to continue to be present and, whatever.
Yeah. I like that.
But there's magic in that too. I know they can find good things.
Yeah.
On the internet.
I mean, if I break it down, breaking down the internet and this technology, it's like, it's what all the ancient cultures talked about in terms of this, like, magic and mystery. That's what I kind of joke about with some of my buddies. That it's they talk about this in old texts. Connecting with people across the world and flying, and it's like, I think in your mind you're like, I'm gonna be telepathic and I'm gonna fly in the air with my arms up, but yet we're doing all those things that are talked about that are like superhuman powers. It's in a way now that I take for granted, and obviously have some drawbacks as far as, the addictive part of it, but it's incredible. It's like, geez.
Yeah. I wonder if it was always like that. Like, if people, excuse me, at the time, if somebody our age now was reacting to the way what we're talking about is such a magical time 20 years ago. Yeah. And if they would be like, oh, but things are too, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That
I do.
Maybe it just always seems different.
I think so. I do. Yeah.
That wasn't well articulated, but you know what I mean?
I do. I totally know what you mean. Yeah. The Westchester, man. Westchester is what I want to do sometime is come back and do like just a nice like tour, Westchester, because I haven't been there in a long time. I mean, it's been a long time.
I love it. It's a great town. It's pretty and
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. We're pretty near it. We just live about 15 minutes outside of Westchester now.
Yeah. It's not far at all. Just all the haunts.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if I tried to do a tour like that now, I wouldn't even know where to go. Like, I know where the Pirate House was and the Hot Tub House was.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like so much of the fun was just like rambling around. Like, we would just go to, like I was saying before, there was a lot of people that knew other people that I didn't really know, but it just seemed like there was always like a party, or you could always go to someone's house and like, something would be happening. And, and it felt like everybody was really hip and smart and cool. I guess you just feel that way.
Yeah.
with your friends when you're younger, but like even the people I didn't know, I feel like you'd be at a party and there'd be like 50 people there that were all great.
Yes.
Or I don't know. It's rose-colored glasses, but
I agree.
It just
yeah.
If I went back there now, I wouldn't even remember where anything happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like a million different houses and basements and streets, and
I know, it's funny how that. Yeah, and Rex's we didn't talk about, but just doing having a lot of good shows at Rex's.
Yeah, Rex's was cool, and
Fenario.
Yeah, pretty soon it starts to be like the boys are back in town. You're just like, oh yeah, it was that great pizza place, and oh, we had so much fun with the boys. Hanging down at Dino's.
Well, yeah, ours would have been hanging out at Capriati's. Even though that wasn't in Westchester. Was it in Westchester? Yeah, it was Capriati's.
There was. I feel that was like a Delaware thing a little bit more.
Okay, so Capriati's was
Westchester Diner. A lot of fun, like morning after at the diner.
Yeah.
Trying to think of some other magical locations or like cool stuff. There was the Tree.
The Tree is something that, I have pictures of that, a bunch of pictures, and the Tree was amazing. I've heard that it's not there anymore. I don't know if that's true, but
bummer.
That Tree was incredible. That Tree. I remember Ted taking us there. That was the first time I went with Ted. The dogs were like a very magical, omnipresent part of that world. Zimba and Hunter. Zimba and Hunter just kind of orbiting around everybody and just creating this. Oh yeah, Jake. Yeah, my brown buddy. That's right. Get out of my room, Jake. Leave me alone. I love you. Get out. Keep the dogs at arm's length. They're fun from afar. Yeah. God. Yeah, it's good times. Yeah. Let's pour one out for the dogs. Yeah. Let's raise a glass to Hunter, Jake, and Zimba. It's funny you say pour one out, because I remember once when a beer spilled on the rug in the Pirate House and Zimba was just licking the carpet for about an hour, just sopping up the beer that fell on it. Ted and I just saying, that's the other thing. I've developed into really something of a neat freak, like in my own kind of like I never was. I was always a real slob, you know. Yeah. And now, like, I really like try and keep everything clean and stuff. And like, thinking back, that was pretty filthy. Filthy world. Yeah, it was filthy. I don't like. That's the other part. So looking back, glamorizing and all the glory of the glory days. Thinking about going back and like sleeping in some of the situations, I don't think I could do it. I couldn't do it now. It'd be difficult. It'd be difficult to let myself just not have I'm a creature of comfort now, and cleanliness. Yeah. And tidy. Sometimes I think, this is an odd thought, and I mean, you can edit this out or whatever, because who cares? But sometimes I think about going back, or like, I don't know, in a weird way, I picture myself back then, if I had my present day, just like if I was me now, but if I lived back then with the person I am now, that I would be the cleaning guy. That I think of like that, like how cool that would have been if I would have just like always did the dishes and cleaned up. Yeah. Because first of all, it would have made everything clean and it would have been great. Like everyone would have appreciated it. Yeah. And then it would have also been like, oh, Doug, he's so cool. Like he just cleans everything up. Like I think back, like how easy it would have been to be even more, like even better with everybody. Like, but no, I just made messes. Yeah. Oh, we never cleaned, or if we did, it was, someone else. And I wish I cleaned more. I wish I could go back and just clean everything up and still live that way, but clean. I would keep it all clean. I mean, I remember there was a level of time where there was another dog, Mickey, who was in the pirate house and would go down to the basement and crap in the basement there. And Balzerini would like sometimes like you just hear him yelling because there was dog crap
What
on
is
his
this?
weight. What is this? Mickey, what'd you do? You shit on my weight.
My weight.
And
that's another thing too. I would exercise. Like I like to exercise now, and I think about that too. I would clean, and I would just be like doing push-ups all the time. Like I could have been even more of a force.
You could have been a contender.
Could have been a contender. Imagine if I was just doing dishes and push-ups all the time, dude, you know, instead of just spacing out with pet sounds or whatever I was doing.
You'd be lean and clean.
Yeah, I could have been lean and clean.
I feel like there's a
instead I was large and lachrymose. Big weeping slob crying over the Beach Boys.
Oh God, slobbery. The slobbery. Tom Slobberies. Yeah, so you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, and I don't regret. No regrets. No regrets. Fully embraced. But it is interesting to think about that, and a lot of those things, you know, like right. I sometimes have I think a nightmare of going back. You know, I don't know if you have this going back to high school. It's not college. It's never college. It's only high school.
Yeah.
And I had I feel like I have a good memory of high school and I had good things. But now if I think about if I had to go back, knowing all that I know now, it would be like prison. I feel like I'd be in prison.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could like go through that schedule.
I guess. I mean, I think about it like as like if I had it to do over again, I feel like I would handle it better. I don't know. Of course you'd think that, but I feel like, wow, I could use all that time to like study, or, you know, like I could have actually worked hard at the stuff that I wasn't working hard, but you know, you have to do what you have to do. I still have those dreams all the time about that you're back in school and you haven't attended the class and there's like something due.
Yeah.
But what's funny now is that one of the versions of it that I have every so often is that I'm back in high school and I've not been given my schedule. There's like a schedule that's going to tell me what room to go to, and I don't have it, you know? And so just that thing of feeling, but in the dreams now, I always have this adult sense of entitlement. Whereas like, I'm not nervous. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Somebody give me the schedule. Like I'm like marching to the office. Like, listen, somebody needs to get here and get this schedule in my hand. Toot sweet. So I guess that's good. I feel like, I
think you've processed something to get to that point of being more directive from your past self, taking charge. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, my friend. That's
little addendum.
That's an addendum. Yeah, it's a bonus feature. That's a bonus creature feature for anyone that has gotten to this point and wanted a little extra taste.
Yeah, if you didn't get enough,
give you
more.
You gotta take it. You gotta take a nice, take a nice
Stop it.
Syrup.
Stop
I'm gonna
it.
end it now. Here we go.